Hey, what's up everybody? It's Mandingo Supedome. Here with a video to show you pretty much the studio upgrades that we did here this week. This was the main thing that had to be replaced. This was the M-Audio Audiophile 2496 card that we had in the computer. And for the most part, what we have here is that it was a 2-in and 2-out audio interface. And then, of course, it had a little breakout for the MIDI in and out, and also it had SP diff in and out. And the card worked absolutely fine for about 5 years, and then it started crapping out on me, and it was time to make a replacement. And I would categorize this card as a prosumer. You know, that it wasn't fully what I would consider studio quality, but it was definitely better than what you would find on the onboard sound and stuff with the computer. And this was the other thing that we went ahead and were able to replace. This was the Behringer Xenyx 802 mixing board mixer that I had everything running through. Is that for the most part you had 2 XLR inputs, and then you could also run instrument. Were 2 sets of inputs, and then there were a pair of stereo here and a pair of stereo there that made up 8 total inputs. You know, and it also had, you know, being able to send to an FX and returns and stuff. And for the most part, each of the channels had a 3-band EQ. You had your FX level, if you had some FX interfaced with the board. You know, your pan, and then obviously your volume controls for all the different channels. And the way I was running it is I was using primarily here the CD tape RCA inputs and outputs that were interfacing here with the cards, so that way whatever I ran through the mixing board would then go in and out and talk with the audio card to get the audio into the computer. I mean, it was a nice board. It served its purpose, worked really well. But then this is what we went ahead and replaced it with. Is we stepped it up to the Behringer UMC 404 HD. That the old card was 96K. This one is bumping it up to 192. And then what we got going on here is that for the most part you got 4 inputs for your mics or your instruments. Then obviously you got your 4 levels for each of the channels. Obviously you've got you know, your main outs, your headphone level. You got a separate dedicated input. And then here on the back, what we got going on here is that pretty much you got 4 channels here worth of inserts. That if you wanted to, same thing as the other board, if you wanted to send it out to an FX processor or compressor or something like that, you got the ability to do that. And then here on the main out you have XLRs, and in my case I'm using the TRS connections for the main monitors. Then moving over, pretty much you got your other 4 outputs that you got your TRSs, and then you have your RCAs. So your choice. I've just got a little switch here for turning on the phantom power for the mics. And then you got your MIDI inputs and outputs. It's all running over here to on a USB interface, and then you got your little itty bitty power cord supplying power to it. And what we actually have plugged into it right now is my Behringer C1 condenser mic. That's what's coming in here on the XLR cable. And so far I'm definitely liking the new interface. And then a few other things that I added for the studios. Here's my good old trusty Axiom 25 keyboard that I've had for about 5 years. And the major problem I was having was that the USB cord I was using was only about 6 foot. And for the most part, I have the computer tucked away right there. And it really kind of limited me as to how far away from the computer I could be with the keyboard. Whereas, of course, with this one, we can take it, set it all the way over here. Got plenty of cord to work with. The other thing that we went ahead and got was I got me a new pair of studio headphones. These are the Behringer HPS3000s. They're pretty good headphones. Not as good as my Sennheisers, but they're not in the same category, price-wise. But for the price I paid for them, they really seem to be doing the job really well. I like that they actually have enough of a bottom end, so I can hear what's going on down with the lows, which I'm definitely liking that. And then we got the 24-inch monitor sitting right here that I mainly work off of, and if I really wanted to, I also have it piped out to the 55-inch if I really want to blow something up, or if I have other people over here at the studio, I can go ahead and pipe it out to the big TV. And then what we have going on as far as the audio system is that for the most part, we got the main monitor out from the audio interface going here into the big boy, into the receiver. And then we got a pair of 12s sitting there. So let me go ahead and get a little track playing that I actually worked on and wound up making yesterday. And we go ahead and take a listen. I thank y'all for watching, and stay tuned, more to come. Alright.